So there are some dogs which can, like some.
Maybe.
Yeah. So have you?
I don't know all the dogs in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe some are intelligent enough.
Yeah, and they can make like rockets and planes and yeah.
I don't know. No?
Human beings and dogs is that the dogs are capable of going to make buildings and rockets and iPhones, but they don't want to. That's what you think?
No. I said maybe they are, but they don't see any need in that.
That's what I'm saying. You think they're capable of doing it. They have the intelligence of.
I didn't say they're capable, but humans weren't capable 500 years
No,
ago.
today. Are dogs capable today to make iPhones by themselves?
Well, sure not.
Okay, so you think they have the knowledge? They have the knowledge and the skills to do that?
Well, humans didn't have the knowledge 500 years ago as well.
No, I'm talking about. I'm
500 years.
talking about dogs of today. Do you think the dogs of today can do anything like we do?
Well, I can make an iPhone as well.
They're telling you a lie.
So there are some dogs which can, like some.
Maybe.
Yeah. So have you?
I don't know all the dogs in the world,
Yeah.
Maybe some are intelligent enough.
Yeah, and they can make like rockets and planes and yeah.
I don't know. No? That's why people are evolving and all things on Earth are evolving.
And the dogs will evolve as well, right? Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever seen a dog speaking German?
Well, at least understanding German. At least understanding.
No, speaking back in German.
Well,
Or Dutch. Or Dutch. Have you ever seen a dog? Any dog?
Do you speak any dog language?
No, I'm asking, have you seen a dog speaking, not dog language, human language?
I don't speak any dog language as well. I understand what they want to tell me. but-
What I'm saying is, if dogs are so intelligent, they should be able to communicate in our languages as well. Because sign of intelligence is, one thing is common or called language. Language is a key component of intelligence. Language.
There are many people talking stupid things, so, I don't think it's a sign of intelligence.
So language is not a sign of intelligence. So what is a sign of intelligence to you?
Well, I think getting around in life somehow,
No, sign. What are the signs of intelligence?
Well, being able to live in a way that you're satisfied with, I guess.
I don't understand how being able to live, someone satisfied living like a person in a jungle outside of civilization, wearing no clothes and makes them happy, or living in a mountain outside of civilization makes them. Is that a sign of intelligence?
I'm quite sure that something like a husky, for example, is not satisfied living in a flat.
Yeah. So a sign of being intelligent is whatever makes you happy and you live your life, and that's a sign of intelligence.
At some point, I guess, yes.
Okay. So if you have someone who's there eating dirt, rubbish from dustbin because he hasn't got a job and it makes him happy, and someone who says, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to leave all of this, I'm going to go and study, then apply for a job and do my work. So you're saying the sign of intelligence is the one, and then he works and he's not happy. He works and he's not happy because he has to wake up and go at 9 o'clock for the job and come back again. So you're saying the intelligent person here is the one who eats dirt and picks up rubbish, compared to someone who says, no, I should study and work.
I think you're comparing things that don't go together in that sense.
Yeah, I want to understand, what do you mean by intelligence?
You have peace with God.
We didn't come to debate, just wanted the free Quran.
We're not debating. We're not debating. We are reflecting on the world. For example, do you think nothing can make something? Nothing.
Well, as I'm German and I originated in the GDR, at some point I do. But that's nothing I really want to discuss at the moment.
Because God is love.
Because I heard about an Amish person over there. That's more important to me at the moment.
Yeah. So what's more important for you, to know where you're going to end up after you die, or to find out what makes you happy here?
What makes me happy here?
Exactly, that's my point. And that's why people go for the contentment of this life. And when death approaches them, they regret at that point because it's too late at that point. Because when death comes, you can't avert it, you can't prevent it. So when death comes, what happens when you and I die? What happens to us?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, do you want to know?
No.
You don't need to know, or you don't want to know.
It's over then, so I don't know.
It's not. What if it's not over?
Well, then it's okay.
But would you not be really in trouble if you were here for a reason in this life and you did not fulfill it? Like imagine you go to work and then you go to your workplace and you don't do any work. Do you think your employers will be happy?
No, God did not
Well,
die. I just got
as I'm a teacher,
Yeah.
my employees will be happy because
So if you don't teach your students, you just sit there, go to class, and you don't do anything, and your head teacher will be happy, unless you're the head teacher yourself.
you know what's getting on my nerves?
Yeah.
You're always trying to understand wrong what I'm saying, you know. So
No, I'm asking you
you're
a
bit
question.
like Socrates, you know.
Have you studied philosophy?
Yes.
Which ones?
Well, I had to translate the Greek original.
Okay, which ones?
I don't remember. You know,
Socrates is mentioned one of them.
No, it also went on my nerves because Socrates always tried to get things wrong, you know, but that's not the way I like.
No, I appreciate you studied Socrates, but Socrates or Aristotle or Plato or any of the medieval and modern philosophers, you would know questions like what we're discussing something, it's not trivial, it's very important. It's an existential question, so what we're discussing, about the meaning of life, what makes us happy, what happens to us when we die, where did we come from, and what are we doing here? So philosophers do talk about it, so it's not something that it should get on your nerves. You should be comfortable with it because that's what you already know, the subject matter of discussion by the philosophers. So when we die, either nothing happens to us and that's it, or something happens to us. There's an accountability.
When the time comes.
Sure, of course. Of course you'll find out. But if you find out that there was a purpose of your life and my life, and you and I did not fulfill it, and now we have to suffer the consequences, we have to be punished for not doing our job, would you have an excuse and say, oh, I'm sorry, send me back? I'll do it.
If I don't know, I just don't know, you know.
No, I'm saying hypothetically, if you find out that there is something different than what you're thinking currently, and there's accountability. Someone says, I created you and the world, and I expected you to do this duty. You didn't do it, now you have to face the consequences. And this creator says, I reminded you by someone called Mansur in Speaker's Corner, as well as the prophets and messengers that came and they laid down their scriptures, the revelation that I sent. And I told you very clearly that you did not create yourself, nothingness did not create you, you did not create the heaven and the earth, and knew that very well, and yet you somehow ignored all of these rational understandings of reality. So now the consequences is this, which I already mentioned, that whosoever rejects this message, this reality, they will face this consequence of punishment. But whoever uses their brains, their intellect, their mind properly and fulfills their duty, they will be in a place of happiness. So when you and I find out that we haven't done our job in this life and we end up in a place after accountability, we end up in a place of punishment where we are literally being punished forever and forever, you and I will try to make excuses. But would you think any of the excuses will be acceptable? Because what excuses are we going to get? I didn't know. That won't be an excuse because you did know. The Quran mentioned this various times. Mansur told you already. If you said, look, I was following my parents, they'll say, God will say, but what if your parents are wrong? Are you going to just simply make an excuse like, oh, I was following my parents? You can't bring up excuses like that. What if you say, look, okay, give me another chance. But God says, look, people will say that. That's why he says there is no other chance There's only one life, and you have to make good use of that life, and yet you ignored that message. So that cannot be an excuse anyway.
Well, let her get the information by the primary source, if that's possible.
Brother, Jazakallahu khairan. Yeah? Do you pray 5 times a day?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. See you later. I was telling the lady here, I mean, she's just going by herself without even saying goodbye. So this is just a clear and a simple demonstration of how people can be misled by their own desires and ego. I mean, she was comparing her life like to a dog, and dog may have been important and intelligent that can go to space by themselves and make rockets and planes and so on. So this is what happens when people go away from their own self-reflection of who they are and what priorities where it lies. She's a teacher. She's a teacher. May Allah guide us and may Allah guide them. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.